Renaissance 2013. Blog entry from January 20th, 2013. In 2008, I realized I could no longer live in the world I saw portrayed on TV, the one I read about in the papers, or the one I called my reality day to day. In this world, I believed that I had been held back by my honesty and my genuine concern for myself and others. I finally accepted that I was not wired for a world where words on paper meant more than the humans involved. I would not accept that corporations could be considered people, but that the living environment around us did not enjoy equal rights as non-human. And I could not survive in a world where the institutions we hold in highest regard are so obviously fraught with hypocrisy, greed, dishonesty, and misplaced loyalty. A world where no one with any power to actually change these institutions has the guts to state it and or the ability to change it on their own. I am speaking of our government, our financial system, our educational system, our healthcare system, and most importantly, our religious institutions. The majority of individuals in this country still claim to be quote-unquote religious. So much so that it is now as closely tied to our political system as it can be, while still allowing us to exist as a secular government. If you don't believe me, ask how likely the country would be to vote for somebody with my spiritual beliefs to be president, regardless of how capable I was to perform the duties of the job. I absolutely believe in a power greater than us all. It is exactly what is guiding me at present. However, I am most comfortable calling that power the universe. It is the exact same as what others call God, but that wouldn't be acceptable to many in this country. I would most likely be labeled and judged by millions. This doesn't matter to me. I have zero interest in ever becoming president, and I couldn't care less about what others think of me. I mention it simply to point out the fact that via its effect on our political system, and hence our elected by the public government officials, religion influences all of our lives, whether you claim to be religious or not. This fact requires a brief look at the general religious landscape of our country. At present, the most common faith being followed in America is still Christianity, and I was brought up Catholic, so I will refer to its customs in my writing that follows. First, it is interesting to point out that in my experience, the ones doing the greatest amount of judging are more likely to be the ones identifying as religious than not. They go to church every week, they wear their crosses around their necks, they carry their rosaries, they are sure to tell everyone how Christian they are. Everything on the outside appears to others that they are walking the walk. And as we know very well in 2013, it is all about what is observable from the outside. In my 6th grade classroom, I had a poster on the wall that read, "How do you live your life when nobody is watching?" In my experience, the true test of the Christian faith is how you live and react with your words and actions. Ask yourself how well you are doing. Remember the 4 rules? How are you doing with those? How often do you treat someone exactly unlike how you'd like to be treated, forgetting the oneness of us all? How often do you dismiss forgiveness and compassion? How often do you judge? How often do you put conditions on your love and support? How often do you give up believing in something that you feel to your core because you lose your faith or trust? Don't beat yourself up. Don't feel guilty. That only makes things worse. Be gentle with yourself. Love yourself. Accept yourself right now, exactly as you are, and know that you are okay. You aren't horrible. You aren't unlovable, you aren't selfish, you aren't greedy, you aren't undeserving. I know you want to live this truth and walk the walk. We all do. Every single one of us instinctively is good and wants to live this truth. The thing preventing us from doing so is the deep pain that lies within that causes anyone to steer away from it. We are a country comprised of millions of wonderful, loving individuals who have lost their belief in the ability to be able to live and love freely and completely. This is why everyone feels a bit crazy and why the outer world is mimicking that craziness. We came here to be free. We came here to explore. We came here to create. And we came here most certainly to be happy. The beliefs so many of you hold right now are not allowing you to be happy. And when you are not happy, you are not the best you are capable of being. You hold others outside of you responsible for your lack of happiness because you know no better. You've been conditioned by everything in society to believe the power lies outside of you to make the changes in your life that will result in the happiness you desire. The madness will continue as long as you buy into the game of fear in this paradigm. If you have managed to find lasting happiness, true, real, lasting happiness in this world, by all means, keep on keeping. However, I feel many are seeking something different. It begins with believing that we are loving, sharing creatures that are evolving beyond the basic survival instincts of our animal predecessors. We are evolving beyond competition, beyond survival of the fittest. That time of human history is passing very quickly. As it falls away to the new world based in love, it is not going to go quietly. Many of you will want to play this new game. You will. You will want to be able to believe in what I am saying and in what I am doing. And you will want to be able to say it without fear of judgment from others. But your old stories and your conditioned belief patterns, rooted in this paradigm of fear, are going to threaten to kick you out of the game immediately. Know that. But if you really believe that you want to play, if you feel at your gut level that I am anything but crazy, just be patient with yourself. Know it will take time. And know that you must begin with not judging yourself. Allow yourself to feel exactly what you feel without judgment. It is okay. It is okay if you think all of what I am about to reveal is too good to be true. It is okay if you don't believe I have actually done as much as I have done in less than 3 months' time. It is okay if you think this is too risky. It is okay if you think I am too idealistic. It is okay if you think I am too trusting. It is okay if you think I have completely lost my mind. To whatever extent what I am doing makes you uncomfortable, I ask you to try your best to be conscious of this and to instead try to focus on the parts that make you comfortable. Focus on the parts that feel right to you. Don't worry about what someone else says should be right. What feels right to you? Focus on the things I am saying and doing that just seem true to you. At a gut level, what feels true at a gut level? Focus on those things and watch how your perspective begins to change. Then, watch how your life begins to change. In order to understand this new game, to even see its possibilities, is to challenge yourself to take your own game to a level just a little bit higher. Wherever you are being called to do this. It is all relative. Your game is your own game, different than even your spouse's game. Only you know in what areas of your life you have room to be better. And this comes not from a place of judgment. It comes from a place of discovery. A discovery of the power in aiming to walk the walk as close to 100% as possible. We are living in the most powerful times in the history of humankind. We are awakening. All of us are being called to a playing field higher than the one we are on at present. If you are ready to heed the call, I believe I can help. For almost 2 years now, I have been consciously following the 4 rules. I've been aware of every time I'm either judging, not loving unconditionally, or not trusting or believing that the universe will take care of me. As I began to live my life rooted in my heart, as opposed to my mind, I quickly saw the correlation between my work in following these rules and how my world around me was changing. I realized very quickly that the magic happened when I was able to go beyond the old paradigm way of thinking or handling of a situation. As I was filling more and more of my thoughts with only positivity and love, my outer world was increasingly becoming a mirror of this. The specifics were, of course, specific to my desires, hopes, and dreams, but I was most certainly the happiest I had ever been. This was a truth of some sort, that was for certain. This isn't about comparison anymore. This is all about relativity. This is about hearing your true voice and believing you can follow it and not only survive by doing so, but thrive in ways beyond your wildest dreams. I have now created this in my own life, and it happened when I discovered that the more I wanted my desires to come true and the more quickly I wanted them to do so, essentially was correlated to my ability to live as close to Jesus' example as possible. And because I incorporate bits and pieces of every faith I've ever read about, this also meant I was aiming to live as much of my daily life as possible, following the examples of Buddha, Muhammad, Lao Tzu, Moses, and Brahma too. Every great teacher was speaking the same truth, and I had finally caught on. It calls all of us from within, but if you suffer from dense darkness like I did for so long, it is really, really tough to hear. But once I heard it, the message was loud and clear. I had a lot of catching up to do if I wanted my dreams to come to fruition as quickly as possible. I had to create some new belief patterns. Beliefs centered around what I now call the 4 rules. Once I identified, I had to practice them like crazy so that they then became my new habits, my new conditioned ways of thinking and thus behaving. It worked, and the proof has been overwhelming. In 1 to 2 days, you are going to see exactly what I have been doing these past 3 months. You will finally see what my company is, what it represents, and the brand new radical ways in which I am operating it. I can assure you, it is the real deal. I believe we are absolutely living in a time that will be looked back upon as another renaissance, the digital renaissance. No way I am missing the beautiful boat of opportunity sailing down this river. Let's find yours so you can come along too.